Hi everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the complex world of business, one filing at a time. Today we're diving into a special report from GBank Financial Holdings Inc. And let's just say there's a changing of the guard happening at the very top, which could mean big shifts for their digital dreams. Before we jump in, if you enjoy these straight to the point breakdowns of important company news, make sure you're subscribed, and hey, we've got a growing community on Discord where we chat about these filings. So join us there. Link is in the description below. So what's the big news? GBank is shaking up its leadership. Their president and CEO, T. Ryan Sullivan, is stepping down from that role. But the really interesting part is who's stepping in and what this means for the bank's future, especially its focus on digital banking and payments. It sounds like they're putting someone with a lot of experience, someone who's been there from the start, in charge to steer this digital ship. Let's get right into the filing itself. GBank Financial Holdings Inc., a company based in Nevada, has filed a currented report on Form 8K. This kind of report is usually for significant events that shareholders should know about right away, and a CEO change definitely qualifies. The date of this report is August 26, 2025, and it tells us about some pretty big changes happening within the company. We're looking at GBank Financial Holdings Inc. and their main trading symbol is GBFH on the Nasdaq Stock Market LLC. They've also elected to be treated as an emerging growth company, which is pretty common for companies looking to grow. So the first major point here is the departure of T. Ryan Sullivan from his roles as president and chief executive officer of both the company and its subsidiary GBank. This move comes as the company is planning a management reorganization to really focus on its digital banking and payments opportunities. Mr. Sullivan gave notice that he won't be renewing his employment agreement, which was set to end on August 30, won't be renewing his employment agreement, which was set to end on August 30, won't be renewing his employment agreement, which was set to end on August 30, won't be renewing his employment agreement, which was set to end on August 30, won't be renewing his employment agreement, which was set to end on August 30, won't be renewing his employment agreement, which was set to end on August 30, won't be renewing his employment agreement, which was set to end on August 30, won't be renewing his employment agreement, which was set to end on August 30, won't be renewing his employment agreement, which was set to end on August 30, won't be renewing his employment agreement, which was set to end. But here's a twist. They're not just saying goodbye. The company, the bank, and Mr. Sullivan are actually talking about changing his current agreement so he can provide consulting services. This is to make sure the transition to new leadership goes as smooth as Ed Nigro to lead these discussions and handle everything needed for this leadership handover. And speaking of Mr. Ed Nigro, he's the next big piece of this story. The boards of directors for both GBank Financial Holdings Inc. and GBank have appointed Mr. Ed Nigro as the Chief Executive Officer. This appointment is effective for the company on September 3, 2025, and for the bank on August 26, 2025. He's not new to the company. He'll keep serving as Executive Chairman, a role he's held since December 2017 for the company and July 2007 for the bank. Importantly, there are no immediate changes to his compensation because of this new CEO role. Now let's talk about Mr. Ed Nigro himself. He's 83 years old and he's a pretty significant figure in the company's history. He was actually the founder and has been the executive chairman of the board for both the company and the bank for many years. His experience is vast, dating back to 1979, where he's been involved in developing, owning, and operating real estate, especially in Las Vegas. He's also an investor and manager in healthcare and other businesses since 1984. His construction firm, Nigro Associates, has built projects across several states. He's also been on the board of Western Alliance Bank Corporation, a well-established bank holding company, and has held leadership positions in various other companies and many philanthropic organizations. He even served as a commissioned officer in the United States Air Force and received military honors for his service in Vietnam. This is a man with a deep and varied business background. One small but potentially relevant detail is that Mr. Nigro is the father of Todd A. Nigro, who is also on the boards of directors for both the company and the bank. The filing clarifies there are no other family relationships between Mr. Nigro and any other directors or executive officers. This next part is interesting and highlights a potential conflict of interest that's being disclosed and reviewed. Mr. Nigro has an ownership stake, specifically 15.78% in Nigro HQ LLC. This company is the landlord for the bank's headquarters and one of its branch locations in Las Vegas. The lease started back in 2007 and has been extended multiple times, with the latest extension and rent increase confirmed in August 2022, and further lease options agreed upon in October 2022. The lease is now set to expire in September 2007 and has been extended multiple times, with the latest extension and rent increase confirmed in August 2022. And further lease options agreed upon in October 2022. And further extended multiple times, with the latest extension and rent increase confirmed in August 2022. The lease is now set to expire in September 2007 and has been extended multiple times, with the latest extension and rent increase. The filing emphasizes that the terms of this lease, including the recent amendments and ownership interests by Mr. Nigro and his son Todd, have been fully disclosed to federal and state banking regulators. They also had an independent market review done on the property. This review confirmed that the lease terms are comparable to those in similar deals with outside parties and don't present more than normal risks. Furthermore, the lease renewal and its terms were approved by the directors who have no ownership in the landlord or family ties to anyone who does. This is called approval by disinterested directors, and it's a way to ensure fair dealings. Finally, the report lists that it includes Exhibit 1004, which is the cover page interactive data file formatted in a way that computers can read easily. And the report is signed off by Jeffrey E. Wicker, the Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer, dated September 3, 2025. Now let's put on our analyst hats and see what this all means. The move of Mr. T. Ryan Sullivan is significant because he was the CEO. However, his departure isn't abrupt, and his potential consulting role suggests a desire for continuity, especially as they focus on digital transformation. It's often the case that a company will retain key talent in an advisory capacity during such shifts. The appointment of Ed Nigro as CEO at 83 years old is a bold move. This signals a desire for experienced hands-on leadership during what the company calls a transition period and thereafter. Given his background as a founder and long-time executive chairman and his extensive real estate and business development experience, he brings a deep understanding of the company and its markets. His history with GBank dating back to its early days means he's likely to be very invested in its strategic direction, particularly in pushing for digital growth, which seems to be the current priority. The disclosure about Mr. Nigro's ownership in the building where the bank's headquarters is located is important, while the filing clearly states that regulators and disinterested board members have reviewed and in line with market rates. This is something investors always keep an eye on. It's a potential for related party transactions that could, if not managed correctly, create conflicts. However, the clear regulatory approval and independent reviews suggest that at this point it's being handled transparently and with appropriate oversight. From a strategic standpoint, GBank's stated goal of maximizing its digital bank and payments opportunities is a major trend in the financial industry. Many traditional banks are trying to modernize and compete with fintech companies. Having a founder and long-time leader like Mr. Nigro at the helm during this push could be a strength, as he likely has a strong vision for the company. However, his age might also raise questions about long-term succession planning and the energy needed to drive a significant digital transformation. The fact that there are no immediate changes to Mr. Nigro's compensation is a point of stability. It implies that the company is not looking to immediately incentivize this new role with extra cash, but rather lean on his existing commitment and experience. What are the key takeaways here? GBank is making a deliberate leadership change to push its digital agenda. ED, Nigro, with his deep roots and broad experience, is the new driver. The company is navigating a potential conflict of interest with its leased property in a transparent manner, with regulatory and independent board approval. The big question is whether Mr. Nigro's seasoned leadership can effectively guide GBank into the competitive digital banking landscape. It's a challenging path, but his long history with the company might just be the advantage they need to execute their vision. Alright, that's our breakdown of GBank Financial Holdings Inc.'s latest filing. What's your take on these leadership changes and the company's digital ambitions? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this analysis helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us out. Subscribe for more regular deep dives into the financial world. Don't forget to check out our Discord community linked in the description. You'll find some great discussions happening there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Corporate Decoder.